Let me name something I'm hearing more and more from leadership teams right now. And it's not resistance to technology, it's implementation fatigue. Dentists are excited. They see AI as the future. They see efficiency and scale and profit. But the admin teams, the people who actually have to make this work day in and day out, they're tired. Not because they don't believe in the vision, but because they're living in the chaos underneath it. Now, here's what's really happening. Practices aren't overwhelmed by one new system. They're overwhelmed by 10 systems that don't talk to each other. An AI scheduler here, an AI radiograph reader over there, a legacy practice management system that's been in place for 10 years. Now, each tool promised to save time, but together they're increasing the emotional cost of completing tasks. I hear things like, I spent my entire morning re-entering data because our new AI schedule didn't sync with our old software. Now, come on, that's not innovation, that's erosion. This is where leadership, this is where relationships matter. One of the biggest mistakes I see leaders make is falling in love with the idea of progress while underestimating the experience of change. And when change shows up as disruption without direction, even good teams burn out. Now, this is why my work on relationships and leadership and communication still applies. Maybe now more than ever. Sustainable change doesn't come from piling on tools. It comes from clarity. It comes from sequencing and personal communication. When AI is introduced without explaining why, without clarifying who it serves, and without protecting the personal experience, teams feel like change is being done to them, not for them. Implementation fatigue isn't really a technology problem, it's a communication problem. Teams don't need more software, they need more context, they need more understanding. They need leaders who slow the conversation down and say, here's what stays the same, here's what's changing, and here's what we're not touching. Without that conversation, every new system feels like another demand instead of additional support. I want you to think about AI the same way I've always asked you to think about complex dentistry. The greater the complexity of care, the greater the demand for relationships and for leadership. AI increases complexity before it reduces it. That means leaders, that means dentists must show up earlier, communicate more clearly, and advocate for their teams, not just efficiency. Here's a principle. It's a principle I want you to remember. Technology should simplify people's work, not complicate people's days. If your admin team feels like they're the glue holding disconnected systems together, you don't have an adoption problem, you have a leadership, you have a communication problem. The practices that navigate this well don't ask, well, what can this AI do? They ask, who does this help and who does it burden? And if the burden lands on the team, leadership, dentist, communication, you need to step in and either redesign the workflow, slow the rollout, or say no altogether. That's not weakness, that's advocacy. Remember this, attempts at practice development without leadership, without communication, doesn't scale. And technology without leadership doesn't stick. Sustainable change happens when leaders protect clarity, pace, implementation, intentionality, and preserve the personal relationships that made the practice successful in the first place. So if your team is tired, don't assume they're resistant. They may simply be overloaded. Slow down, reconnect the dots, and lead this change the same way you lead patients, with clarity, empathy, and purpose. When people feel understood, they don't resist change, they support it. Thanks for listening.